Now, when you talk about agreement, there are some of the clauses going to be the agreement, and please take a note of this. One of the clauses is going to be the board seat. So, investor, when he's agreeing to put money in your bank account, he is also going to ask for a seat, board seat in your company. Now, in a private limited company, who runs the company? It's a board. Board is supreme. It's a board, okay, the board of directors is the directors who runs the company. They are responsible for the day-to-day business of the company, right? So, it's a board. Now, of course, initially when you start a company, it will be you and your perhaps a partner, whoever two of you, okay, who are going to be directors perhaps. Most likely it will be both of you are going to be directors, right? Now, investor, whatever it is, investor is going to ask for a board seat. Usually, it all depends on the quantum of money the investor is going to put in. But right now, you should be at this stage, at a startup stage, you would be concerned more with the angel investor to start with first. Okay. Usually, it is 1/3 or 1 whichever is higher. 1/3, the total number of board. So, if you are 5 people, then 2. Okay. If you are 3 people, then 1. If there are 2 people, then 1. आप समझ गए 1/3 of the total number of people in the board, उसका 1/3 ratio should be the investors as a board members.
दो तो एक ही आएगा.
2 अगर है तो उनका एक आ गया तो 3 हो गए टोटल. 1/3 उनका एक हो गया.
Not more than that.
Not more than that.
दो है डायरेक्ट.
2 है तो उन लोग के 2 नहीं आ सकते. वो मांगेगा तो आपको नहीं देना चाहिए. You should negotiate. They may ask for more board seat, but you should not be giving. You can end that. You can negotiate. Sir, I am ready to give you 1 seat, or we are 2 and 1 more, so you have 33%, 1/3. Why? Because he also would be a party to decisions which you are going to take, right? Why he needs to take a board seat? आज तुमको 5 करोड़ दे दिया, 5 करोड़ आगे चल दुबई भाग जाते हैं. You can, हाँ, या 5 करोड़ आगे चल गाड़ी ले लेते हैं. यार बहुत टाइम से मेरा मन था कि सारा तेरा SUV होना चाहिए, ओके, और यूरोप मेरे को आई वांट टू डू अ वर्ल्ड टूर, या एक बंगला चाहिए था. हर्ष को चल तेरे इस पर मेरे को प्लॉट दिला दे, पैसा डाल देते हो उसमें. यू कैन डू दैट. कंपनी तुम्हारे बाप की है, डायमंड भी ले सकते हैं, राइट? सो चेक तो तुमको ही बनाना है. दे हैव टू प्रोटेक्ट देयर मनी. एंड देयर आर केसेस, नॉट टुडे बट एटलीस्ट आई नो इन अर्लियर .com के टाइम पे some people I know, they have taken money from investors, and how they have blown off the money in their own personal lifestyle. So, yeah, so investors also become smarter with all this. So now they take a board seat so that some of the rights are with them. You cannot, of course, you are allowed to sign checks, you are allowed to spend money, but then there is some director on the board. So if you do some anup shanap, some gafla, there is somebody to oversee, right? Now there will be no no other business. Important. As an entrepreneur, you cannot do any other work, any other business. If you tell them, अरे सर मेरे को एक साइड बिजनेस मेरा चलता है, पार्ट टाइम उधर पे थोड़ा कर लेता हूँ, करने दीजिए. No, don't even tell them. Okay, they would not be interested in such kind of things. Or if you tell them कि I have a jewelry shop, दुकान है, लेकिन ये फंड में ऑनलाइन बिजनेस के ले रहा हूँ, उसकी अलग कंपनी फॉर्म कर दी, ओके, लेकिन वो मेरा वो धंधा चलने वाला है, उसके लिए उसमें कोई लेना देना नहीं है, तो बोले भाई तो वही कर. He is not going to put money because conflict of interest comes in. Okay, whenever any investor puts money in your idea or a venture, he expects you to full time focus on a business. But आप बोलेगा सर, one entrepreneur will tell you, सर फंडिंग चाहिए, सब कुछ ऑलमोस्ट ऑल सेट, सब कुछ प्रोजेक्ट अच्छा, सब पास हो गया, सब कुछ. लास्ट फोन पे ही टोल्ड when this was one of the clauses, when he read, he understood this clause. He said, अरे सर लेकिन मेरे पिताजी की दुकान है. अच्छा, काय की? कपड़े की दुकान है. वो रोज शाम को मुझे 3-4 घंटा उधर बैठना पड़ता है. नहीं चलेगा, 3-4 घंटा इज टू मच. नहीं चलेगा. नहीं सर लेकिन मेरे पिताजी की दुकान है, अभी वो बुढ़े हो गए, संभाल नहीं पाते. somebody has to, उसकी मजबूरी मैं समझ सकता हूँ, लेकिन इन्वेस्टर पैसा नहीं डालेगा. Entrepreneurship is not, he expects you to put that 13, 14, 15 hours in the business. So मेरा साइड बिजनेस चलता है, मेरा बाकी का बिजनेस चलता है, आप लोगों के 4 बिजनेस है, सर डोंट वरी, ओके, वो सब नहीं, 4 बिजनेस तुम घर पे रख दे, सब बंद, एक ही बिजनेस करेगा. एंड ऑन दैट वन बिजनेस, एंड दैट टू दैट बिजनेस, इफ यू हैव अदर बिजनेस, You should not be if you say, I got other business, but that is being driven by somebody else. My brother is driving it, my cousin is driving it, my son is driving it, my father is driving it, no problem. You should not be driving that business. Because as a driver, you should be full-time attentive into driving that business. Clear, all of you? First set of refusal, ROFR. Short remain it's called ROFR. First set of refusal, there will be one clause. So whenever you raise second round of funding, I mean subsequent round, second round in the sense subsequent round, this clause would say what it means is that the first set of refusal to not to fund it lies with the investor. If you get some other investor, then the first investor will say, you don't take that investor, I'll put that money. The first right of refusal lies with the investor. If he likes a project, if he likes your idea and that business is doing good, and if he feels that this is going to go further ahead, then why bring other investor? He'll say, I am going to put that money. Okay, and how much, whatever valuation the other investor is giving, I'll match it. Of course, that's the first set of refusal. So if the investor, if you don't like the investor, conflict है दोनों के बीच में, okay, you say boss अभी ये बहुत हो गया, I am going to get a new investor for subsequent round. I'll rather look for other investor. आप अटक गए because he's got that power.
If the new set of investors are coming in, can they buy out the first investor?
They can.
But it's against the choice of the angel investor. Okay. That's it.
Sir, in that case, to protect my interest as an entrepreneur, why do I put that?
Look, it's not your, he'll put. He has to protect his interest. Then one more clause is going to be anti-dilution. Anti-dilution clause means investor has got a right not to get diluted. What it means is when subsequently when you raise money, second round, subsequent, so even the investor, earlier investor is going to get diluted. You saw in the example, Excel sheet mein, from 20% it came down to 15%. Now this anti-dilution clause is where investor has got a right to buy more shares from the company at the same price with the new investor is coming and again bring it back to the original level. If the project is good, and many times the project is good, they feel like अच्छा company चल रहा है and दम है project पे, okay, and I don't want to get diluted. So original my share was 20%. Now with the new investor coming in, I'll get diluted to 15%. I want to maintain 20%. So he'll have to buy the shares come from the company, okay. That 5% share he'll buy the company. At what price? At the price which the new investor is coming in. Clear? Yes. But then in the process, who got diluted? No. Promoter gets diluted. Always promoter gets diluted. Clear? Yes. That means you had to give 25% to new investor. Let's assume the deal was like at 25% and 5% to the old investor. So totally 30% goes from the company. Clear? Yes. So hypothetically, let's say 25%. It could be 30%, it could be 20%, whatever. But whatever percentage, so the earlier every investor will have anti-dilution clause. Even the new investor will also have anti-dilution clause. So when उसके subsequent भी आप जब raise करोगे, he'll say I don't want to get diluted. मैं क्यों कम करूँ मेरा percentage? So he'll buy more shares from your company. Then there is something called tag along. Tag along is if you happen to sell your shares, your shares, let's say. And this will come only, this generally comes when companies are not doing well. If companies are not doing well, then you may decide to sell your shares to somebody, right? You cannot sell shares alone. Tag along. They will also tag along with you. There will be a clause कि तुम बेचेगा तो मेरे भी बिकाओगे. You have to get my shares also sold. You alone cannot sell your shares. Okay, clear hai? That is tag along. Right? So, and that within that clause there could be different conditions. For example, equal proportion. Now that is how you discuss or negotiate with them. If you are selling 50% of the shares, then even our share, investor would say, even our shares you will see that 50% of our shares also will get sold. Or other clause could be that if you are selling a shares, then first you will sell off our shares 100% and then you will sell your shares. So there could be all different, within tag along there could be different conditions you have to negotiate with her. Clear? Hai? Similarly, there is a drag along. What is drag along? If investor decides to sell the share, then they can drag you to sell the shares. You have to sell. Yeah. वो अकेला नहीं, वो बोलेगा, and this happens when some company wants to acquire your company completely, and the acquiring company says, I want 100% of the share of this company. Okay, and investor feels this is a good deal, let's sell off. पूरा का पूरा कंपनी बेचते हैं. You may say, no, I don't want to sell my shares. बॉस मैं मेरी कंपनी का शेयर क्यों बेचूं? Right? Investor can invoke this clause saying, drag along. They'll sell the shares and they'll drag you also and make you sell the share. Then last, affirmative rights. There will be one whole section on affirmative rights. What is affirmative rights? In affirmative rights, there are some rights, some things which investor ka yes. So in a board, generally decisions are taken on a majority. Let's say there are 5 people on the board, and let's say you decide to let's say we should expand in you sit or no, right? Now that's a board decision. So whatever majority comes, the people will, according to the company, will do the strategy or take a direction. Affirmative rights are those rights where in some of the cases, if the investors say yes, then only the decision can be taken as positive. Otherwise, you cannot do that. Okay, these are called affirmative rights. So you require, so investor can veto your decision. Okay, or investor has to say yes. So even if you have majority, but investor said no, then you cannot do it. So in that majority में investor का हाँ भी आना जरूरी है. Now those clauses are generally what kind of clause? If you are creating a liability, let's say if you are taking a bank loan, obviously investor का हाँ होना जरूरी है, because you are creating a liability and the company is a director, he is also liable. Okay, or you are changing the structure of the company. Okay, let's say कल को आपको मूड आ गया, अभी यार अपने को मेरे को कंट्रोल आ रहा है, मैं अपने शेयर्स मेरे वाइफ को दे रहा हूँ. It's a structural change. Okay, then investor has to be informed and he has to say yes. Or you want to pass on the shares to your son. Possible, people do that. Let's say today I may want to pass on the shares to my daughter. Okay, now I had to first take a consent, or in the board when I put this proposal, even the investor has to say yes, and he has to see a merit in that. If he doesn't see a merit, then he may veto it, he may say no. And even if the majority of the board say yes, but the investor said no, it cannot be concluded. Clear, all of you? So these are some of the clauses in the agreement which you will come across. Yeah?
Many investors, many entrepreneurs believe that investor would not give freedom to do some experiments, and they might they don't allow to experiment new things.
Right, okay.
And they say you do go for the traditional way,
Whatever he
or like that.
understands, yeah, okay.
Whatever he understands.
Okay.
So what to do at that time?
All right. So let me bring Mahesh at this. He is an investor and let him answer the question. Mahesh, you heard the question, and yeah, this is a very common question that we get from the entrepreneurs. How much freedom is given to the entrepreneurs? We have seen at times when even investors start putting their heads into the day-to-day affairs, not day-to-day affairs, but in some management, and they don't give freedom or much room to the entrepreneurs.
As an inventor, I try to follow the conventional path. I believe that the future belongs to companies that can disrupt, not just in terms of what they do, but in terms of how they do it. So I am not a big fan of the conventional path, because the conventional path usually involves spending a lot of money doing television advertising, print advertising, that actually many companies are doing. I am particularly not in favor of that. I look for companies that have the ability to grow virally, that have the ability to grow by word of mouth, that have the ability to capture the imagination of their target audiences. And if not, actually I send the companies back to the drawing board and say, keep experimenting on a low burn till you get a formula that works. When it works, let's grow it out. So I'm perfectly okay with saying, let's play on a low burn for a period of time till we get something that really can catch fire. And once we find something that can catch fire, let's set fire to the world.
Okay, so quite clearly they believe in giving a lot of freedom, yeah, but I'll want to add my point. So let me just bring Mahesh once again, and then I'll make my comment on this. So Mahesh, there is another fear in entrepreneur's mind that you take over the company by increasing a percentage in the company, or you have a complete absolute control, and one day you'll take over the control of the company. And so how much equity you take, and can you ensure that this fear is unfounded for?
Well, we come in at the early stage, and we don't believe in taking the majority of the company away from the investor, from the entrepreneur. So we come in with a 20, 30, maybe 35, maybe in very rare cases 40% stake. And over a period of time, we want that entrepreneur who has a 60-70% stake to really feel that they own the company. Of course, after you do 2-3 rounds of funding, the entrepreneur may be 33%, another investor may be 33%, we may be 30%, and so on and so forth. But finally, in the end, the entrepreneur knows this one thing, that he or she is there to stay, and we are here to go. Because none of us want to have a permanent position in the company. We have to finish our period of investing, take the stock, sell it, and move on. So actually, it is going to be the entrepreneur's company. We are the kind of temporary help and the temporary parents, while the final parent is going to be the entrepreneur itself if he goes public, or the entrepreneur and somebody else if he gets married into some merger and acquisition.
So you just heard what Mahesh said, and that that myth that investors will one day take over your company, okay, is actually unfound. It's a myth. Yeah, there's no reason why they should be taking over, unless I just like I explained why you give a reason for them to take over. Yeah. Now every investor would one day will take an exit. They are not lifelong with you. They are not permanently with you in a company. Okay, they have to take an exit, and there are 3 exit options available. Yeah. Now, what are those 3 exit options available to investor? First option available to investor, or which you will be giving to investor, is a buyback. So there will be a clause in the agreement, and what it would mean is that someday, whatever that agreement period is, generally the agreement period is 5 years. Usually the agreement period is 5 years, and at the end of 5 years, you will buy back the shares of the investors at fair market value, or some percentage like 25% IRR. IRR is internal rate of return. Okay, some calculations of financial terms. If you don't understand IRR, please go and Google. Yeah. So at 25% IRR or fair market price, whichever is higher, at that price you will buy back the shares of the investors. Now perhaps you will be wondering, "Arey sir, you told that investor is not going to ask the money back. Okay, this is not a loan, this is not a deposit. Okay, how will I bring so much of money to buy back the shares? I don't have that money." Okay, no, don't worry. This is an option given to you and the investor, that if you are in a position to buy back the shares of the investors and you want to consolidate your position in the company, you want to buy back the share, increase your percentage back again, you have an option of buying back the shares from the investors. Agreed? And many times we have seen that even if not you perhaps individually, your company would have enough cash flow by that time to buy back the shares of the investors. Even if not full, perhaps partially. Let's say the first investor has taken 20% stake or 25% stake. Now you may not be able to buy perhaps all 20%. Can you buy 10%? Buy it out. At least it helps, it builds back your equity base, which you had diluted, right? So it again goes back. So you have an option of buying back from the investors, and they would be happy to sell to you, and you would be happy to buy from them. If you are not in a position to buy back the shares from the investors, the other option of exit for investor is a strategic buyout. Strategic buyout is where some other company would buy out a company, and in that process, investor gets exit. Clear? Hai? Okay. Or third option is you go IPO. That means you list your stock on a public stock exchange like Bombay Stock Exchange or Delhi Stock Exchange or country ke stock exchange pe, okay, or even maybe Nasdaq if your company is doing very well. Okay. So where you are doing IPO, and then if you are listing on a public stock exchange, now that means you have opened a door for the investors to exit. Now whether investor decides to exit or no, that's up to them, but at least you have opened doors for them. Now at least investors got, if they feel they want to sell the shares and take an exit, then they may sell the shares at the stock exchange. Clear? Hai? They decide partially they want to sell off, they want to sell off fully, they don't want to sell completely, it's their now discretion. At least you have opened doors for them. Generally investors prefer IPO. Clear? So these are 3 different options available for investors to take an exit.
Sir, in buyback, can an incoming investor with a higher share price pay off the outgoing investor at a lower share price?
They can.
And we can retain the surplus amount within the company?
Yeah, you can.
Thanks.
Clear? Hai?
Sir, in all this scenario, we see investors taking exit at in particular time frame. So is it possible that an entrepreneur also will take an exit at any point of time?
Entrepreneurs don't get exit. Let's ask this to Niren. So Niren, would you like to answer that question? When do entrepreneurs get exit?
So let's talk about exits and entrepreneurial exits, right? So some people have come across and asked that, when do I get an exit? Now what you have to understand is venture capital is not for everyone, right? It is, like I said, 1,000 companies, 500 companies being evaluated and maybe 5 or 10 which will be staying. We are, as venture capitalists, we look for you guys, right? You are an entrepreneur, you're saying, hey, this is my company, I'm going to be in it forever, I'm going to take it to IPO. Why don't you give me a little finance to grow it, right? So think about it as you are the main person, you are the whole and soul, you are the company, you have come to us a bit like the bank, right? Think of it as an equity side of the bank, not a loan, but an equity side, right? So a little more permissive. If we lose all our money, we won't blame you, bank will blame you, right? But you say that, listen, so we say, listen, we are coming in, we're putting in money, we'll also give you a lot of help, we'll try everything, right? But eventually, in 5 years, 7 years, 9 years, we have to exit the company, right? And we have to find a way to kind of go out and give back money, which again, we ourselves have raised from our own sort of funders, right? So we have to give it back to them. Now, along the way, the whole understanding is that you are running the company. We are not running the company. So there's no question of us giving you an exit or things like that. This is a question about either, well, we can all work together, and if there's an M&A, we can all jointly exit, or otherwise, I would sort of very humbly say that the entrepreneur should not be looking for an exit. If you are looking for an exit, the VC is going to run for the hills. If you told me tomorrow morning that, hey Niren, you've come in, right, you're Norwest Venture Partners, you're going to be here 6 years, but after 2 years I want my exit. I'll be running away as fast as I can, because this is not the way I look at companies. This is not really what we're looking for. The exit will come when you create an exit. You might create an exit of IPO. You may decide to stay. If you decide to create an exit for an M&A transaction, you might also be able to get the exit. You will get liquidity. Most of the time, it's not going to come right away. You will get some money, if you feel that the stock has gone up really a lot, and maybe you want to buy a little bit, you want a little bit of liquidity, etc. We have definitely made exceptions, but even in the Valley, even in China, even in India, the understanding in taking venture capital is that you would like some money, that it's your company, you have to give us an exit, we don't have to give you an exit. And as funny as that might sound to you, today if you were to go and say, listen, in 2 years I want an exit and I want out, right? People are going to say, hey, listen, this guy, we can't fund him, right? Because he's not understood. He's not understood what we're here for. We are helping him fulfill his dream, right? Dream to build a company, not immediately sort of, just sell out and run away. So if you are not in this for 10 years, 20 years, I would highly recommend you, don't do it.
So, like you heard Niren saying, entrepreneurs don't get exit. कंपनी किसकी है? विजन किसका था? ड्रीम किसका है? Then why are you asking for exit? And especially I'm talking at angel stage, never ever talk about your exit to investors. The day you open your mouth about your exit to investor, so the investor will like what Niren said, he'll never put money, he'll take exit. You are actually bouncing off the investor away कि बॉस इससे दूर रहो. An entrepreneur who is thinking of exiting a business, that means he is not. You are in fact you have to sell your dreams to the entrepreneur. You are here to change the world. It's your vision. You should be with the company for lifelong, right? So never ever utter any about your exits to the investors. Even if you have in your mind, just keep it with yourself. The only time promoter gets exit is when there's a strategic buyout, when some other company buys out completely, and that too you may not get exit immediately. In fact, most of the cases when a big company takes away the other small companies, then they will ask the founder or who are the main drivers of the company to be with them for at least for a few years. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, they will ask them to continue. Why? Because they understand the business, they have done something. They know the finances, they know the technology, the employees knows those drivers or the promoters, they have more loyalty towards the original promoter. So they may want that promoter to stick around. Clear? Yeah.
So in case of, let's say, worst case scenario, I would take an option example. But if there is, if the the promoter has to sell his stake, would there be a black spot on his identity? I mean, if
No,
he is in.
it's not so. So there are exceptions, rare cases. Let's say, for example, just as example, let's say you want to get your sister married, and it's a big expense here. And entrepreneur doesn't have liquidity. शेयर के बहुत ज़्यादा है, लेकिन पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? और मेरी बहन की शादी करानी है, उसमें मुझे 50 लाख, 1 लाख का 1 करोड़ का खर्चा होने वाला है. Just hypothetically, I'm throwing a figure. Now, in such cases, they're humans, and they understand, and they have to understand that they can't disturb you. I mean, they can't disturb your mental. I mean, if you're under pressure, you'll not perform, right? And if you're doing well, then if you have a good relation, then there are exceptions. They allow you to sell a small portion of the equity. Yeah.
So the promoters, because they couldn't sustain in a right way and they in fact lost the investors' money, now can the promoter start something else and he'll be taken with that same dignity amongst
They would
the
not be, no. If you have a blot, if you're a failure, then of course people will see with a more microscope and they'll ask why you failed. I mean, even investors would see that there's a reason for failure. If the failures were due to some external attributes, then it's okay. And entrepreneur is still strong, it's still good, and investors feel that entrepreneur mein dam hai, the reasons for failure was something external beyond entrepreneur's reach, then they would invest him further, on him further.
start of storytelling.
Yeah, of course, you start off story again, yeah. Clear? I mean, I have failed many times. In my journey of all these years, in last 3 decades, not all my projects, as an entrepreneur, I had my share of success and failure, both. Okay. There are projects where I made money, and there are projects where I lost money, and it was a failure. But then I could raise money subsequently every time, and investors seen that capability. Okay, it could be given one more opportunity. In fact, many times a failed entrepreneur is accepted because he has learned something not to do. Failures teaches, right? And if the entrepreneur is such that who has learned and who has accepted and admitted that I failed because of these reasons, I think I made these mistakes, I blundered, and now I'm not going to make this mistake. Investors like that. Why not? I mean, he's learned something. At least investors assured now he's not going to make that mistakes. So at times, failed entrepreneurs are also accepted. There's nothing wrong in it. So your past failure may not be a big blot. If you have a strong reason, then you come forthcoming. If you're forthcoming that yeah, I failed, this was the reasons I failed, it's okay. Nothing wrong in it. Now the question about so there is no exit for entrepreneurs. So how will entrepreneurs make money? Where will their money come from? I mean, these are the questions you had. Okay. So let's ask Niren. And Niren, how would entrepreneurs make money then?
So entrepreneurship is a tough business, right? And again, what happens is that if you see most of the bootstrapped entrepreneurs, bootstrap being someone who's not taken any money, you'll find they don't take salary, they're paying salary from their pocket, it's actually a loss. So for the longest time, think of it, if this was a little chart, right? An entrepreneur's life, it's like first it goes below. You're actually making a loss. You're actually making big losses because you're funding other people's salaries. Then what happens is as you get Series A, Series B, etc. funding, you start kind of making some money on the salary, some bonuses, you get options, and then it sort of remains at those levels, and then finally you get an exit. And at that point of time, you might make $100 million and it's way off the camera somewhere, right? It's intended to be way off the camera.
Clear? So if, like say WhatsApp, bought over by Facebook, now those promoters would have been sitting on piles of money, isn't it? So someday exit will come, okay, if some big company buys you out, okay. But otherwise, generally your income is largely from salaries, then bonuses that you get, and as your level goes up, the level of salary goes up, bonuses goes up, you get options, you get stock options, so you get more stocks. So all those things are possible. Now, if you have any doubt on figures, let me tell you, when you start with the angel funding, generally, if you don't take money, if you don't take salary, best thing, angels would like that you don't, because people are giving you money to put in a business. And if you say, my salary should be 2 lakh rupees, itna to salary apna banna chahiye, that's my value, investor is not going to like it. Okay. Enough to keep your home fire burning. Ideally, no salary, you don't take salary. Okay. But agar lena hi hai, let's say it's a very, you have no source of income, you got no savings, you cannot sustain yourself, then 25 से 50,000, about 25,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees, anywhere between that is okay. Okay, lower the better. Yeah, of course. And the 50, beyond 50, it will become difficult for you to justify with the investors. Investors are not going to agree by and large. Then you take, when you raise further money, that 5 crores or whatever, seed capital, that time you can increase the salary to maybe 1 lakh or around that amount. Okay, so that it's okay. And beyond that, when you take a series A, okay, then your salary could again shoot up. It can go up to 3, 4, 5 lakh rupees per month. Yeah, and we have such examples I've seen. So of course, then it has to match your lifestyle also. If your company's valuation is about 100 to 150 crores, then obviously your lifestyle also has to match. Then you can't come in rickshaw. Okay, you need to have a car, or a proper decent car. So lifestyle, of course, you can't be traveling in a sleeper class train if you have to travel. You got to fly. Okay, and that would mean that you need to have good clothing, you need to have bags. So in short, what I'm trying to say is your lifestyle should be such, right? You can't be eating vada pav every day and doing a lunch, right? Obviously, right? So when you're owner of a 150 crore company, so obviously, अरे यार जेब में तो 5 रुपये ही वड़ा पाव के लिए 5 रुपये वड़ा पाव नहीं आता सारे 20 रुपये. You can't. You got to eat in a good. I mean, if you are having a meeting, if you're inviting somebody and you're having business meet, you can't say चल टपरी पे मिलते बात करते, right? So you got to be in a meeting, I mean, in a good decent 3-star, 5-star hotel or whatever such area. So कहने का मतलब है your salary has to match accordingly, and they understand that. Okay, so I'll tell you what Niren. In one of my earlier companies, when we got a Series A, then Niren wanted to meet the senior management, and I was part of the senior management of the company. So that time his office was in Oberoi. Okay, so on I think 20th floor or whatever, they had office. Now they have their own office, but that time they were operating from the whole floor. I mean, half the floor of Oberoi was belonging to them. Now as venture partners. So they called me, asked me a lot of questions, one-to-one meeting. Okay, and they asked me a lot of things. He asked me, and then one of the things he asked me is, Nayan, do you take vacation? So my answer was a little tentative, and I'm very poor in taking vacations. Okay, for me every day is vacation. I'm enjoying every moment right now. Okay, but as a family commitment, once in a while you have to. Okay, so I said, and my problem with my at least life story of life is I have stayed a lot in abroad. So really I don't need to take a vacation because every day is a vacation for me when I travel. So I give a very tentative reply. He said, no, Nayan, 2 vacations in a year, compulsory to take. 1 short vacation, 1 long duration vacation. Okay. He asked me to shape up. Okay. Yeah, don't see me this way. But he asked me, and so then our CEO, the original promoter of the company, who was running the show, he was offered, so we had to submit a business plan. He said there was an offer to him, if you achieve the business plan in first 1 year, then he'll be getting a Mercedes car. Yeah. Now, of course, we didn't achieve the business plan. Okay. So he didn't get a Mercedes car, but subsequently he got Audi. So and especially American VCs, I mean, what are my experience with, so I have experience of multiple different kind of investors. Okay, all kind of investors. And American VCs, they are capitalists. They know how to take care of the entrepreneur. Okay, at the same time, they expect return. Simple. Okay, वो पैसा डालेंगे, खर्चा करेंगे आपको, and obviously they will make you also. They will ensure that you are working and performing. Okay, so they give you a lot of freedom. They ask you to spend money. They see you that you have a good salary to match the lifestyle which should be matching based on level which you are. Yeah, but at the same time they expect you are going to work for them. I mean, work for the company, not for them. You're not an employee, but you are going to put what are hard efforts and hours for the company, and they'll at the same time they take care of you. Japanese investors, they are a little different in culture. So every Japanese investor, whenever they fund your company, they'll ensure one cabin in your office. They'll put one Japanese in the company. Okay, that's their way of working. So one Japanese guy will always come and they will sit in the company with you. They'll work with you, and they'll start implementing the strategies along with you. They'll work shoulder to shoulder with you. Okay, so here we end the session of funding. I mean, not funding module. This session. So you understood how the whole process of funding takes place. In the next session, we'll discuss how investors think. Over years, I have come across many investors, and I have over years gathered enough experience to now see what the way investors think. and if I let you know how investors think, it will become easy for you to pitch them, right? So I want to share a lot of their side of the story, so that it becomes easy for you to build your story.